So once again, on behalf of the Haley Public Library, my name is Kristen Fletcher. Thank you for joining me tonight for Fun with Fido, with dog trainer Tamara Rowe and her canine and human assistants. Tamara has been training dogs since adopting her first rescue 30 years ago, and in 2018 began specifically utilizing positive reinforcement training methods. She later completed the intensive Pryor Academy Certified Professional Dog Training course through the Pryor Academy for Animal Training and Behavior. And you may know this already, Pryor is widely credited with launching the science-based positive reinforcement training movement. Tamara is also a certified fear-free professional trainer, a Puppy Start Right for Instructors graduate, and recently completed her service dog coaching certification. She is a member of the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants. Please join me in welcoming Tamara and all her friends. Thanks, Tamara.
Thank you. Wow. These guys are giving a good example of needing a job. Ace. Well, thank you everybody for coming. As she said, I'm Tamara, and she gave a little background on me. I've had dogs my entire life. Grew up with 3 of them, and went to college and made it about 3 months before I moved out of the dorms and had to have a dog. And I've basically been training them. You know, I just sort of started on my own, but then I had a very naughty rescue dog who taught me most of what I know. And then Rosie was my first puppy, and she has sort of taught me the rest of what I know. She's also my guinea pig, and now she gets away with murder. So, as you can tell, she does what she wants, kind of thing. And so this is Joanne. She's been my puppy assistant at dog classes, which has been great, because if you're in a room with a whole bunch of new puppies, you know, I always say, oh, my limit's 5 or 6 puppies. It's really more like 3 or 4, and that's pushing it. So Joanne has really saved my hide a few times. And she's also quite the dog trainer herself, and she's got her loyal assistant here, Fogey, who's still doing some training and comes to class and does a lot of demos also. And Ace. The reason I have Ace here is he has been one of the more challenging. He just turned 2. A few people heard me say that. He's been a little more challenging in keeping him occupied with something to do. Very smart, half border collie, half husky. We were talking about the stereotype, and he fits that very well. So he's very independent, but he always wants something to do, and he's just constantly needing a job, essentially. Ace. And the reason we moved the mat is, even at home, we tried to do some down on your mat, and he never wanted to be, I mean, he'll lay down, but he doesn't want to be on a mat, so. Which brings me to, all of our dogs are individuals, and I think you'll see that tonight, that one of the things I like to stress is, we've got a little bit of a toy exchange table, and we'll show some different toys. Some dogs like some toys and games, and some don't. Was that her? Oh, somebody's tummy's really going here. Yeah, so anyways, I'd like to start with just a little bit of discussion on enrichment, and then we'll get to the fun with Fido, some games and tricks, and then we'll do just interactive things that we can do with the dogs. And so enrichment, bear with me here, is really a kind of a hard one to define, but it boils down to, enrichment is about meeting an animal's physical, emotional, and behavioral needs to empower them to perform species-typical behaviors in healthy, safe, and appropriate ways. So that's a big mouthful. And so then I gave you a handout, this environmental worksheet, enrichment worksheet, that has some of the things that it encompasses. Enrichment can be food-related, sensory-related, social, physical or structural, occupational. That's part of the digging, right? That's part of the jobs. And training, which is that learning from experience. So I often say, like, examples of some of the behaviors that dogs engage in innately are just, barking, chewing, licking, shredding, and digging. I'm trying to think what else is, sniffing, playing. So I'm going to ask a question. Why might some of these behaviors be problematic, or how can some of those things be problematic?
Chewing up my shoes may not be a good shoe choice.
Right, right. So you said that chewing up the shoes might not be a best thing for a choice of behaviors to do, so destructive behavior like that.
And I would also add, my border collies are not allowed to herd people.
Right, right, and they like to herd people. That would be something, again, that's again a really a species-specific one, more, or a herding breed, that they have that innately, that need to herd people. And like Rosie and my other one are, they like birds because they're bird dog breeds. So one of the things we have to do is we want to meet their needs to the best of our abilities in a safe manner, but we also need them to be in our own environments. And sometimes people do come to me like, yeah, my dog's herding people. What do I do? Well, it's a herding dog, So we have to give them other things to do. Some of it, like the digging in the yard, I often say, hey, if they're digging in your flower bed, let's make a place for them to dig. That would be one way of handling that. So as a trainer, I use it a lot to handle problem behaviors or to do behavior modification. Sometimes with barking, I'll put bark on cue so the dog barks when you tell them and not when you tell them to be quiet. But for dogs, a lot of tonight is going to be on talking why is mental engagement good for the dog too. Because physical, you can get out and run them all day. This guy could probably run all day long and he'd still be busy. He still would not be tired out. It's hot, and he's still just like, what do I do next? And so that was that second worksheet that we talk about, the enrichment, some of the things you can do. Because tonight we're going to do the fun things. Like I said, we're going to start with some tricks, and then move on to some games and interesting novel toys. And then we're going to do some, I've got some agility, but some more fixed and interactive stuff that we can do with dogs, including some beginning scent work. Carol's sitting here. It's going to be interesting. I got the boxes, so yeah, we'll try that. And then hide and seek, and I gave you a handout to take home for hide and seek. It's a great way to keep your dogs busy. So let's go ahead, and you're going to be my demo dog. You've mellowed out. We're going to start just really simple. We're going to talk about how do you teach your dog to do a bow. There's a lot of really fun games out there, and there's different ways of training them. Ace. So let's see if you'll do a bow. Bow. Yes. That's so good. And so one of the ways, I was watching him. Sometimes you just get down with your dog and it's play behavior. And so what I did there is I said yes when he gave that to me, and then I gave him a treat. So if I put a bow, and I haven't even put the cue on there, but I could say, Ace, bow. Yes. And then he gets his treat. Now he's very engaged. You saw that. He's like, oh, that's what she wants me to do. So one of the ways you can do that is maybe just get down with them. They might do it. And then saying good. She's going to maybe get interested too. But then if they say they won't do that, come here, Ace. And I'll bet Vogie, will Vogie do a bow? We don't know. You want to try? Yeah. I think your mama taught you a bow, buddy. Yeah. Come here. Sit. Watch. Oh. And this is what we want is some of the dogs do it and some of them won't, so that we can say, hey, how do you get your individual dog to?
No, see, this is what
try see if she'll stand and then see if she'll do a bow for you. Just this, we're luring it. Yes, there it is. That was good. Yay, Vogie. I don't think I've seen her do that. That was good. Yeah. Yes, see, she's smiling. And so she's very proud. Yeah. That was good. Come here. Rosie, come here, Rosie. Come here. She can do. Rosie, pop up. Rosie. Oh, she just wants to go visit. She wants to be, she's the audience entertainment, I guess. Okay, come here. Pop up, pop up. So another way so there's always different ways of getting dogs to, maybe do that. With Rosie, I actually taught her to do a bow, but every morning she would stretch. And every morning when she would stretch, I'd say, yay. And so it was a couple weeks I'd be like, good stretch, a couple weeks, and then I'd tell her to stretch, and she'd be like, oh, I know how to do this. Ace, come here, buddy. Let's try that one more time. So we were doing the lure. He said, a stand. It's easier to go from a stand to a bow, isn't it? Yes, there we go. That's a good boy. Rosie, do you want to try a stretch? Come here. Stretch. Rosie, stretch. She says, no. Okay, too many doggies, she said. Okay, yes. So we're going to let's try the spin. We're going to do spins with your dog. So how would you teach a spin to your dog? We're just talking about a spin in front of us. Any thoughts? Ideas? What's that?
Do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, there's no wrong answer. So you could do it yourself, or you could do it together with the dog. Sometimes we show the dog. Sometimes another dog can show a dog how to do something. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you throw the ball and the dog chases it, and sometimes you have to chase it before the dog will chase it, kind of idea. So let's see. I am going to lure this. So I have a goodie in my hand. He sees this goodie. I'm going to do the spin. Yes, good boy. So he's following my hand. It's a target. Oh, good job. Spin. Yes. I'm going to go one other direction. So the other direction oftentimes can be more difficult or easier, depending on, just like us with our right hand, left hand, dogs are the same way. Ace. Ace. Spin. Yes. Good boy. She's doing both directions, isn't she? Or was she? Sort of? She just wants that goodie in her mouth. She's, I'm a lab. Yeah, she can check it out. Yes. So I wanted to introduce the spin because I wanted to the target stick is one of my favorite things that I use. I also call it my magic wand. And this is just I just bought a dowel and cut it in 3 pieces and wrapped a little tiny bit of painting tape on it. Touch. Yes. We're getting there, buddy. But the dowel is it's just a nice, really simple, dogs see blue and yellow really well. And so the idea, and it's the same on these poles over here, that blue tape, it gives the dog an idea of where that is. And so it's just a nice color to have on there. So when I start, Ace, Ace, yes. He's busy, whether I like it to be or not, right? Ace. I'm just going to hold it down here and say, touch, yes. Good boy. So dogs often, they're very often will just like to touch. You hold your hand out, they want to touch that. So this is a pretty easy thing to teach them if you have a little target stick. Touch, yes. But I'm holding it down low, just like a hand. And then I'm going to try up a little, oops, did I drop one? Cardinal rule, they have to get the treat before you can keep training. Ace, touch, yes. And see, he put his nose, I put my hand up further, he put his nose on that blue tape. So I'm going to put my hand up even further. Ace, hello, touch. Yes, so what did you see me do there when I flipped it? Did anybody want to?
You step back.
I stepped back, but I flipped it because he wasn't going one direction. Yeah, so that was just one of those. But I did step back. I was trying to get his attention back on that, so that was perfect. Ace. Yes, so what I want is him to start following this. And it might take a little while. You know, you might be starting down here just so that he's figuring out that, and then you'll go up here a little bit, and then he might just be sitting in one place touching it. Ace, touch, yes. Good boy. Ace, yes. And most of them pick it up right away. Not every single one. Again, they're all individuals. Rosie, touch, yes. She gets a treat for that. Yay. Oh, that's my treat bag. Come here, buddy. So I like my magic wand now.
How young can you start teaching them to target?
I would say day one, honestly. Like 8 weeks, you bring them home, they can start touching your hand. Yeah, they could start touching a stick. So I think that's a really good, you can really, people sometimes come to me and say, 6 months a good time to start training? And I'm like, no, back it up almost 6 months, because some of the breeders will now start clicker training and doing other kinds of training at 4 weeks to get them ready to start going home and being ready to learn. From 8 weeks to 16 weeks is the prime, I hear you, the prime puppy stage for learning when they're just really like sponges. So the more we can teach then, the more of a stable base that we have to teach more later on, and also for them to have their socialization skills they need. I see you. I could easily get him to teach him a speak, but I don't think I want to because Carol might shoot me. Not this Carol, his mom. Okay, we're gonna do a spin with the wand, I think. Ace, that's not company behavior. Come here, touch. I know it's hot. Yes. Did you get bored? Yeah, let's try a spin with this. Ace. Yes. Little easier for me, just because I'm not swinging that treat all the way around. And now he's following this, and dogs actually learn better if you're not just luring with a treat. Yes. And I always think of like when you're driving and you're the passenger, you don't learn the trail as well because you're just, jogging, going along. Whereas the dog, it's like, oh, I just follow the treat wherever I go. He's not necessarily learning the same way. Touch. Yes. You want to try the spin with? Sure. You could tell it's a hot day for the doggies. They say we're passed out. That is, look at that engagement. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Ready? Let's get your leash out of the way.
And you can take it off if you want, Joanne. I hear you.
Touch. Yes.
Yeah. Will she spin with it? Yeah.
She does.
There she goes. There she goes. Yay! And see, like I said, I like to see and use some of the behaviors that they haven't necessarily learned yet because it's a lot better for learning than just watching them do sometimes. Yeah, that was excellent. Did you get enough? So, okay, let's see. Try it again and see if she'll go that other direction with you. Yeah.
She's ready to chew it.
Yeah, so that's just, yeah. And so at her level right now, there we go. Yeah. But you might have to teach it for 2 weeks, and even if you get Ace, if he just went this far and that was it, I'd say yes, good, because he's starting that direction. And then next time he'll probably get a little further. And if he doesn't, we're just working, baby steps till he gets that further. Yeah. Ace. Touch. Yes. So let's put together a couple things. I'm presuming everybody here has a dog or knows dogs and most of them have a sit, is my guess. Anybody's dog that doesn't sit? I'm going to say, do you have a dog that doesn't sit?
My son's dog. Brand new puppy.
I was going to say, is it a brand new? Oh, cute. Oh, what kind of dog? What kind of dog is he?
Chesapeake.
He's a Chesapeake. Oh, beautiful. That's going to be fun. And I'm betting one of the first things is his name, and sitting is probably. So for this exercise, I am going to do, most dogs don't they already have their sit. Ace. And so I'm going to lure, he's checking that out. I'm going to lure him, see if he'll go between my legs. Ace, tween. Yes, good boy. Sometimes dogs will do this right away. Sometimes they won't. Just sometimes they're kind of scared of, going between legs. Come here, Ace. Come here, buddy. Tween. Yeah, you're pretty good at that. Should we try the other way? Let's try this way. Goes tween this way. Oh, that was excellent. I haven't, nope, there we go. See, the other direction wasn't as easy. Yay, good boy. Yay. He's wagging, he goes, okay, I did that right. And again, you see when he doesn't quite get it, that's that easier to see what I'm doing there. So you didn't quite get that. Let's see, so I want him to go between and then come back the other direction. You've done both sides. Let's go between. Yes. All the way. He's a tall dog. Come back this way. Come back this way. Yes. I'm going to add a sit in here. Can you sit? Sit. Good boy. Whoop, almost. I'm going to be riding this dog. Hi. I know. It's a silly boy. Ace, can you sit? No, he says, I dropped a treat. I'm going to see if Rosie will do this one for me. I thought Ace might. Because he knows all, but so what we're doing is putting a chain of events together. She's going through, coming back, and sitting. It's sort of, I call it garage. Uh-oh, am I still? Sorry, I was trying to see if I was still mic'd. Come here, Rosie. Come on. Rosie, go tween. Go tween right here. She's like, I gotta shake it off. Tween. Good girl. Go sit. Whoop. Good girl, yes. So that's garage. But what we're doing is we're putting so there's three things we're asking there. This direction, and then the sit. So it's not something that they'll get all at once. She's like, I'm done. Thank you. Good boy, Ace. Do you want to try that with Vogie? That's my stick.
No, over here.
Give me Ace.
No distractions. And she's got part of it.
I always ask my assistant, who isn't super tall, to get a tall dog to. Yay! That was good.
Okay, let's do it one more time.
Yeah. There we go. Yay! That was good. Yay. So you got the two down, and then you can see, I think with Rosie, I taught her to sit, but it wasn't for, I didn't have that right away. I got it pretty quick. She'd go both directions, but it took her a while to trust me just to sit between my legs. There's a person I see cross-country skiing, actually with a border collie, and when they see other dogs coming, she has it just sit between her legs, and she's skiing along, and the dog just goes with her. And it's pretty amazing. Come here, Ace, where are you going? We're not done quite yet, buddy. He's like, I need something to do. So, and another thing you could, if they're real trained with the target, this would also be tween. Yes, I didn't know if you'd do that with a stick. Good boy. That was, sometimes it's easier than trying to bend every which way. Yes, good boy. So questions about some trick training. I was gonna go on to some games and toys that are novel. Yes.
Can you talk briefly about the treats you're using and how much variety you offer, say, in one session versus different days?
Right. So he was asking how many treats, or what kind of treats, and how many and the types that I use. So there's two different things going on. I'm luring with a treat right now, or I'm using that target stick. So if I'm luring, I have it in my hand telling him where I want him. Good boy. Yes. And so I was just using, I actually have different kinds of treats in here, and I'm just using kibble for that. He knows this, he's going along with it. Say, this is a new environment. Say he was really looking around and not paying any attention to anybody, or I'm teaching a recall. All of a sudden I'm upping it to, I've got chicken in here, I've got some hot dogs in here. I got his very favorite, and again, they're individual, so his favorite might be cheese, and her favorite might be chicken. To teach a new behavior, I just treat every time. If we're getting that behavior and they're learning it, I treat every time. But as they learned it, just like, Ace, sit. I'm not necessarily going to treat that because he already knows it. And sometimes I will, just randomly, because, I don't know if I'm going to get a treat, I might as well sit, right? But once he knows that behavior, I can start asking. Just like when Rosie went tween, she came back, and then she sat, then she got that treat. Whereas when somebody's learning it, they might get it here. Yep, they might get it here. Yep, sit. Good. And I just actually learned that with my hand, but that was a good example of, and so the more difficult the situation is, and the more distractions there are, the better the treat value should be. So that makes sense? Okay, great. Okay, we're gonna move on to some toys and games the muffin tin. And a lot of these things you can make, or I can make suggestions on how to, just make toys yourself at home. So what is that? So it's a muffin tin. You can just use tennis balls in there. I have a variety of different things in here that, like a little Kong and the chicken ball with textures, and it doesn't really matter that much what you put in. What I want, though, is for this dog to figure out how to get a treat out of this muffin tin. So I'm putting it under the orange ball. Let's see what you do. How are you going to get that out of there? Did you find a tennis ball to play with? Rosie might show you how to do it. Oh. And this is a good example of sometimes a toy is more reinforcing than a treat. And in this case, I think the tennis ball's much more interesting. Rosie said, maybe not for me. Oh. Oh, whoa. Hey, buddy, let's pick up the tennis ball. I know. What is that thing? Ace, come. You give. Oh, you're going to throw it? Yeah, okay, come here. Tennis ball's going up. This might be a reason to not have tennis balls. Let's try this again. Yeah, there's one under there. Oh, no. One under here. One under here. How are we going to get it out? Uh-oh. I guess I'm still mic'd. Sorry, Kristen. And it's interesting to me, I have seen different breeds do different things to get the ball or the treat out of there. Border Collies oftentimes just toss it right over and it's immediate. I am watching right now for resource guarding behavior. It's not happening, and I didn't think with these dogs, but I just want to just put that out there in case somebody has like 3 dogs and they're coming in for a treat. So, you gonna get it out of there? Was that too tough? Let's see if Vogie can figure out. I bet Vogie can figure it out. Often the labs will take that ball out. But what's going on here is they're having to think. They're having to work. Oh, Vogie's like. Yeah, yeah. And it's mentally stimulating. I mean, they're really. Oh, does she get a? She got a ball out of there.
She got a ball out, but there was nothing under.
I put a treat under some of them. I don't know which ones for sure.
When
Yeah.
When I started doing this, I would put a treat under every one of them, so they would know that there was some sort of reward, and then as time goes on, you could just put it
Under one.
or under a couple.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a better idea, honestly. I would say I just changed my game, to put it underneath each one so that they do know that there's something under each one, and that's the goal. And that later they can sniff it out.
I think what she's doing is eating the treat out
Yes.
from under the bowl.
Yeah, which is a way, she's getting it.
They're busy,
Yeah.
and they always need a job.
Well, this is a good one. Rosie actually likes to bark when I'm on the phone, and it's usually people calling, are you the dog trainer? And bark, bark, bark. So I give her things like this to do. Okay, Ace, come here. We're going to look at the Snuffle Mat. We already had that out. She's really working on that. And she's engaged. She's not, so if you did this with your dog and they got really frustrated with it, we want to make it easier for them. So I might just put tennis balls or even underneath each one. And if they're still flustered, I might put them along the edges or lift them up for them so they start learning what we want them to do. So what is that, Ace? They're going to slobber it. Ace, come check this out. This guy, one of my favorite toys, the Snuffle Mat. Have you guys seen this before? Anybody heard of this one? Okay, this is one I actually encourage people. If I have 2 toys, this is one of them that I think everybody should have. Did you make that? Yeah, my friend actually made this one, and it's like an industrial kitchen mat. The ones that have the holes through it that she cut up. And then she's got these strips of, I think it's about 2 inches by probably 12 inches of fleece that she just knotted. So you can make your own. They're also, you can find them on Amazon pretty cheap too. They're washable. They seem to be pretty durable because I've had a lot of puppies play with this and want to chew on it too. Ace, come here.
What are they called in Amazon?
Snuffle Mat. A snuffle, like a snuff. It's because they're going to use their nose, so a snuffle. Did you get that one? Okay. And so she's already looking. I haven't put any treats in here. And so I'm putting some treats in there. So Rosie usually comes over because I actually feed her a meal out of this every day. She would rather eat out of this. She would rather work and scavenge for her food than eat out of a bowl. So if she doesn't want her food, I'll put it in this. And then she just mouths around and noses around, and it calms them down. It gives them something mental and enriching to do.
You put like wet food in there?
I don't use wet food. I use the kibbles, yeah, the dry food. Yeah, I think the wet would be gross. Yeah. I mean, it's washable, but.
Why would you call it a feeding puzzle?
So a feeding puzzle would be more like this guy. Let's see. Oh, Ace, you can stay over there. Yeah. So these are a couple examples of feeding puzzles. This one is the other one I really like for puppies that I put a couple kibbles in. My guy takes it. We'll see. Rupert's at home right now, so he's, take it, take it, take it. I was going to see if she'd grab it from me. No, she just wants it. I'm going to fill up another one so you guys all have something interesting here. There's a ton of these type of different things like Thunder Paws, and you can go online and look up, treat puzzles or whatever. But you can, like I said, this one, the lid comes off. I put it in the dishwasher. Here you go, Ace. And let's see if he'll figure that out. There's for you. Rosie, you want your Snuffle Mat? There you go, girlie. Yeah. And so you see what Vogie's doing is she's got to push it around for a kibble to escape. Oh, right here. They were too small for that one, maybe. I use puppy kibble just because it's a small little treat they can just gulp down. Yeah. Ace, did you see this one? There, look at that.
So Tamara, do you actually hide kibble in that thing?
Mm-hmm. I just sprinkle it in and it just...
Keep them busy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that same thing, this mat that I was talking about right at the beginning that I put a little peanut butter on. It's got these ridges and licking can calm them down. They like to lick, it keeps them busy. I often put a little peanut butter, put this in the freezer, or you could use wet food, put it in the freezer. And then they have something, especially in the summertime, they can just, and I know Carol had one for Tippett, didn't you? Yeah. That was a puppy that, just, its attention span wasn't real long. And this was great. It just could lick and lick while we were doing other things. So there's a lot of this kind of thing that they have to figure out on their own. Look at these two. I know. And if I didn't know you both so well, I'd be a little hesitant. So some other novel type things that dogs might like. You want to show the pig? Because I know Vogie. So they're not all just a plush squeak toy. Rosie doesn't really like pig.
Well, we play pig, and what it amounts to is my just throwing it in the bedroom where there's carpet, and she goes and picks it up, and she just loves squeaking.
To squeak it. Oinking.
There's so much kibble here that she's not gonna.
Oh yeah, not want to play with it.
Well,
Ace.
I can toss it and
Yeah.
see what she does. Vogie?
We can pick these guys up too. Yep. Pick that up. So one thing also, I bring dogs pretty hungry to train with because then they're paying more attention if I'm using treats. So these guys I don't think any of them had any dinner yet. So it is really interesting when we got these goodies going around. Let's pick this guys up. Yep.
And you make allowances for it when you do feed them.
Right. So this one is, oh, sorry, is there a question?
The pig reminded me because we have that pig at home.
Oh.
But with our dog, who is also for a large part husky, there isn't a toy that we can give him if we're home in our yard that he wouldn't immediately run off with.
Oh, so he
and starts hiding it.
Okay.
And digging and hiding it in the soil, then covering it back up with his nose. It's like a sacred little thing. He doesn't want anybody to see him do it.
Okay.
He literally sneaks off, and he thinks we're not seeing it. It's so funny. We don't
Yeah.
know where that comes from.
So your dog, and I've seen dogs do this, they take the, and I've seen husky breeds do that. That's interesting. I don't know if that's a husky thing, but her dog takes the treats or bones or toys, whatever it happens to be, sneaks away and hides them. Does he bring them back in later?
Sometimes days later.
Uh-huh.
And whenever
Rosie.
I lose something in the house and I'm not sure if I lost it, then
Oh.
I always suspect him for having maybe taken it and buried it. And yeah, it's
And that's probably, yeah.
it's a natural thing, and I just wonder where it comes from.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to guess why he would bury it and, to have it, I'm guessing it's a cache, that's a food or play source for later that
Yeah.
I'm going to save that for later. And
We did live in a while.
oh, interesting. Okay.
So maybe it has to do
Yeah.
with that.
That's really, yeah, that's interesting. So, yes, I'm not sure what kind of toys, so you might be more doing an interactive stuff that's, so I was just going to show, this one's we talk about sensory, so this is obviously a sound toy. And I learned about the Babble Ball. I don't know if Ace has seen that before. Oh, I don't think he's seen this thing before. I took care of a blind dog. It had sudden retinal failure, and so within 4 days, this dog went completely blind I think he was about 10. And so it was a real learning experience for him and the person. But this ball was he would play with this thing for hours, and he knew where the carpet was, and he knew, he could follow this, and he had a couple other sound ones. And some dogs just go crazy for this, and some are like, Tug toy. Do you play tug? Vogie, want to play tug? So tug is a great game to play with your dog unless they're really mouthy and they get too amped up and too close to your hand. And then either they can play it a little while and then it goes away when they do that, or it's just not a good game because they get too crazed. We don't want anybody getting puppy teeth in there we go. Good workout for Joanne. Vogie, wow. What is she doing there, Heath?
And sometimes you can get 2 dogs on this.
Right, I was hoping that she might, or he might do that, but. Yeah, there we go, maybe. I love it when 2 dogs will play like that, that's so cute. He's not quite sure. There we go, get it, there we go. Good job. Then it makes it really easy on you. Uh-oh, he's got it. Oh, that was cute. He just wants the ball. So yes, there's just a lot of different, this is a tug toy. Some dogs are really hard on toys, so there's some that are a little better than others that are just tougher. Trying to think. So I have just 2 other things. Oh, another one, so like the Snuffle Mat. This is a good one for Rosie. You can just wrap treats in a towel. Oops, where are we going, buddy? I can wind this up, put a couple more treats in here. Yeah. And she's got something to do, again, for a while. She goes, yes, good doggies. And there's a lot of, do-it-yourself enrichment things, too, and you can make a lot of the toys. The Grape Nuts one, I keep all these boxes, and I'll put a goodie in there, especially for the puppies. You got that shredding and destruction thing, and you want that? Do you want that? Take it? Somebody gonna take it? There you go. Have some Grape Nuts. It's really funny when you get like Captain Crunch or something. And so she's got to figure out how to get that toy. It's a lot of it's just thinking about what's fun, and trying it with your dog. And so these 2 like this towel. Just real quick before we move on to the interactive ones. So this is like a little space thing with little guys in there. You want to see that? And they like to, you want to see that? What is that? I just got that toy, so we'll see. I like to have something like that to show puppies, and so it's interesting to see if he likes this or not. Maybe not. Maybe those treats are better. Toys that crackle. Again, not just necessarily what is that? He says, this is fun. I brought this ice cube tray just because it's summertime. I like to put, I usually put just 1 or 2 of those tiny milk bones in there and just put water in. You could do bone broth is another. Get it, Vogie.
I think that she was starving.
I think she is. Ace is like, what's going on over there? But I like to freeze them, and then you can give them an ice cube, you know, and they can be working on, and they do. They know that that bone's in the middle there.
I thought that ice cubes are bad for their teeth, that they could break their teeth.
I suppose if they're really chewing, like really crunching them up, most of the dogs I've seen are licking them.
Oh, and then their tongue doesn't get stuck to it?
Well, I mean, I actually warm it with my hand. If it's really cold, then your finger will stick, then warm it up a little bit so it's, you know, starting to melt. Yeah, we don't want our dogs' tongues getting stuck to the... And if they're really crunching ice, it's just like our teeth, I imagine that it's not good for people to just, you know. But if we want to just to lick on it or crunch a little, because they can, you know, they crunch up bones and things. They got pretty strong jaws. Okay, Ace, they're going a little crazy over here. Come on, we're going to go move on to the next thing. Yes. So so other things you can do with your dog, besides make a big mess, is I wanted to talk a little bit about scent work, how we start training to do scent work. And have you guys heard of scent work for dogs before? Some yeses, some nos. Hi, I see you. She says, excuse me, Mama. I know, I see you. Should I reward that? How about we do something else? There we go. I didn't want to reward the bad behavior. Can I call on Carol to talk about scent work just a little bit? I mean, I always think of search and rescue and AVI dogs that, you know, they can dig 40 feet down to find a body. They can, you know, and we talk about the drug dogs that, you know, can sniff out drugs or bombs. I do service animal training on a lot of them. They're doing now with diabetics that they can sense when that blood sugar goes down. They actually trained some dogs. Ace, come here, buddy. When a puppy's quiet, come on, honey. He's like, what's going on out there? Good boy. They trained some dogs to detect COVID real early on too, which was amazing. So these dogs, their noses, I've heard their sense of smell, it can be, somebody told me it was like looking from San Francisco to New York. If our vision was that good, that's how good their smell is. So I always think of dogs, they're mostly scent oriented. I mean, you know, they do all these other things and visual and stuff, but that nose is so important to them. Come here, let's go. So I'm going to do, this is just a fun with boxes. These dogs. You should see me in puppy class. They do these cute things, and it's just really hard to keep your focus. So I'm going to start with one box upside up. How about this box? So this is interesting. He's trying to decide what I want him to do here. He's offering me some different behaviors. He's seen boxes before. You want to step up into this box? Yes. Yes. Good boy. Yeah, that was very good. So you can look up things. There's like 101 things to do with boxes, and there's a million of them. So I'm going to have it upside up. I put a couple kibbles in there. Rosie's going to find them. Ace is going to help. Good dogs. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Yes. She likes grape nuts. I'm going to move out over here a little bit. I know I'm doing this for the camera here. So that was pretty easy. They're finding that. No problem. I'm going to turn it upside down. They're like, this is really easy. Did you find it? Good. So normally, I'm going to give Carol a dog to hold here. It's nice if I can set up the box before, you know, when the dog's not right with me. Yeah. And 3 dogs too. But what we want, I'm going to add a couple boxes. So I showed them that the treat was in a box upside up. That's what the goal is to, okay, treat's in a box, how do I get that treat? And then, Rosie, can you sit? Stay. I'm going to make it a little harder for Rosie. I'm going to put 2 boxes out here, and there's treats under the smaller one, okay? Oop. Which one is it? Good girl. She didn't give me a big alert, but when she sniffed that one, I said, okay, that's the box I wanted you to sniff. Yes. Quick set them up before the dog steps back. Did you find them all? Right? I'm going to walk her by here. It's in the smallest box. Where is it? Better find it. Oh, good girl. Yes. Yes, good girl. Yeah. She's like, where'd they go? So, I mean, that was a really quick, and I should have had people holding the dogs before I did that because you saw I set them up. But I start with the one box. So the idea is finding that treat in the box. Then you can add another box, go by, and when they point to the right box, yay, pick it up, they get the treat. And then I add maybe a third box. And then we go around until they find that. And it's, you could use a million boxes. And then they have to find, which treat, where it is. And it starts to go how they go into the scent training stuff where, I might have a sweater that smells like somebody who slept with it all night. And then we start having them find that for, avalanche stuff. And, good girl, come here. Yes. So let me see what time. Yeah, we're going to go on to, let's talk about hide and seek, because this is a little bit like that. I know. So I gave you a handout about hide and seek, which is Rosie's favorite game, except for find a treat in the box. And hide and seek is a real easy one to start with. Is you want to hide it in sight. So it makes it really easy. And I start with treats. It could be anything, but I start with treats. Rosie, stay. And she sees where I'm putting these, right? I mean, this isn't too rocket science here, because I want to make it easy. I'm showing her the goal of this game is going to be to find these. Rosie, find them. Better find them. Using the nose. Better find them. Where is it? There's one right there. So I just showed her because I made it easier. Yes. Rosie, find it. I'm walking closer to him because these look just like the carpet. Use your nose. Where is it? Better find it. Find it. Better find it. Good girl. And so the next time in the house, I might do the same thing. I'm going to put them in the same places. And so somebody can hold on to your dog, or you could have them stay while you're putting them there. But she's going to always check these same places now. So it's getting a little easier find it. Maybe. You find it? Right here. There you go. And there's one over here, Rosie. Find it. But then pretty soon, your dog starts doing that. You can start hiding them around different places in the house where they don't see them, and you can walk with them. Like you see me making it easier for her. I'm walking towards it, and then I might even show her where it is if she's not seeing it. Let's see. Should we use blue? Let's use blue. So dogs can learn different toy names also. This is blue. Look at blue. Look at this. It's blue. Yes. Good girl. Okay, sit. Stay. I'm going to hide blue. Rosie, find blue. Where's blue? Where's blue? Good girl. Yay. Good job. So I could start with it in plain view. And this is once they figured out that treat game. Rosie, stay. I'm going to hide it around the corner. Rosie, find blue. Where's blue? Go find him. You can see her brain going, right? I mean, where is he? Good girl. Good girl. So I was walking closer. I could be in the room. I can walk closer and closer. It's kind of like hot and cold. And the other thing that they can find is people, and they can learn names. So if I had her squirrel here, I could have her find the squirrel and not blue. I mean, I could hide them both, and she'd know. So you can start teaching your dogs, to differentiate. And there's one that I thought it was interesting. I know, I don't. Oh, you want a treat for that? So she's like, excuse me, don't I get a reward? Let's have it over here. So if you're teaching, say you have 3 different colored balls and you want your dog to get the blue one, you say ball blue or ball yellow. So you're not saying go get the yellow ball. You wanted to say, okay, focus on the shape of the ball, and then it's kind of like in Spanish. You'd say the adjective after, so. Yes. And let's talk a little bit. So that's an interactive thing you can do with your dog. It's really fun. I mean, that's her favorite game. I can play that. You know, I do it about 3 times because otherwise I get tired of it. But she's tired afterwards. Did you find them all? So Joanne, do you want to come over and we're going to, I think we're going to do one at a time, but we're going to talk. So, you know, other things, scent work, you know, just beginning for doggies, that goes, you know, all these things go much more extensively. This is weave poles for agility. I mean, you can make these out of PVC. You can put the PVC on the bottom and just have a couple things or you can have cones. It doesn't have to be actual poles. Rosie? So how are we going to teach this dog to go through these poles? Anyone? Guesses? Use the wand? Yeah, stay. I think that's a good, if I haven't lost it, there it is. I got the wand. I'm going to show it to her. Touch. Yes. Ace is being so quiet. I think that's the quietest he's been all day. Oops, did I drop it? Here. Treat. There you go. So instead of luring it with a treat, we're going to try the wand, because I actually know Rosie knows the wand too. Rosie? Weave. Weave. Yes, good girl. So that worked, didn't it? Yeah. That would have, I could have done a lure with a treat too, but it's a little more of this for me. Do you want to try with Bogey? Do you want the wand or you? Oh, come on.
I think I'll use the treat.
A treat? Okay. And as somebody had said earlier too, you could walk through these with your dog as a way to show as well. Good job. I'm going to trade for Bogey. Maybe she's being quiet because you're holding him so tight. You stay. No problem with the treat, huh? Yeah. Okay. Let's try. Weave. Ace. Weave. Weave. I used my hand. He's been through weave poles before. He did pretty good. He was just like, okay, I've seen these things. Probably not since last summer, but. And so you could do the same thing with cones, or you could do like a circle 8 with the cones. Ace. Oh, what is that? Paw. Good boy. Good boy. I forgot we were doing some paw tricks. He remembers, though. Yeah. Paw. Good. He's going to offer me that behavior. I'm going to say, okay, that's a good trick. Ace. And so I'm just using the leash a little bit. Ace. Oh, he's going to go check that out. Good boy. Good boy. So a lot of this stuff, again, you could sort of set up in your yard. I mean, you could use a broomstick with a couple buckets. Don't put the jumps too high because it can be, you know, hard on their bodies. But, you know, they could start learning that just to go over that little bit or through things. Anything like a hula hoop. Ace, have you gone through a hoop before? Yes, good boy. And sometimes the hula hoop itself can become a cue if you just hold it. Let me see. Have you done this? Ace. He didn't know to go through without a treat, but that was, at some point he would. If I just held this up, he would go through with a couple, you know, a few repetitions of that. Should we try a tunnel? Yeah. So at puppy class, I start with a little tiny 4-foot tunnel, so it's not quite as scary. Yeah, you want to try the tunnel? So how are we going to get him through the tunnel? Any thoughts?
Put him on one end and have a treat at the other.
I like that idea. So he's going to be at this end, and I'll put a treat at the other end. Come here, oh, Ace, he's like, can you sit? Stay. Ace, Ace. Oh, didn't work for him, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't work, right? Let's see if that'll. Ace, Ace, good boy. So I think because he was so tall, he didn't really see like how to get to the treat, but when he saw me that time with the treat, he was like, oh, straight to it is the fastest way. That was good. So what else could I do to get him through there? Because
Maybe 2 people.
Oh, one on each side? That's a good idea. Do you want to try? See, she should stay, yeah. And I'm asking asking these questions because, like, again, some dogs will do certain things and some won't, you know, and so you might work with one animal and not another. Joanne has the goodies. Oh, that worked good. Uh-oh, you got 2 dogs out of it. Good boy. Let's see if Vogie will come to me. Vogie, Vogie, yes. That was so good, okay? That's good. So both of those dogs do that. So a couple other ways. I mean, you could toss a ball or a treat into the tunnel. I've also had a lot of little kids that'll go through the tunnel. And one of the things that's worked best with puppy class is if a dog goes through the tunnel, boy, that looks like a good idea. The next dog will often follow it. They're like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So we're going to set up, because we're getting close to time, just for our grand fun one. See if we can get them through the big tunnel. We don't start with the big tunnel. Yeah. Let's see. Lots of fun. Okay. Let's see if we can, oops, if I cannot pull my mic off. What is that, Ace? What is that thing? Introducing it to him. If he was scared of it, I would just be like, okay, let's just sniff it the first time and have a gutty. Uh-oh. It's gathering. Where are you going, buddy? Was it following you? I'm going to take his leash off, yeah. Where is your leash hooked here? There it is. You want to try the tunnel? Oh, you want a toy? Yeah. Oh, Vogie says, I've done this before. Where did she go, though? There she is. Whoa. Ace, why don't you follow Vogie? Ace, where's Vogie? Oh, gosh. She's such a clown. Okay, Ace, come here, buddy. I took your leash off so that you could go through with her. I was going to see if he'll follow her.
Vogie?
Yeah.
Vogie. Wait, let's straighten it out. Okay. Ready? Go.
Oops. Ace, Ace, go. There we go, yay! Good dogs. There we go. Oh, no, they're best friends. Whoa, whoa, guys. So really the purpose of this whole class is to get 2 dogs and adopt another. What do you think, Rosie? Do you want to go through the tunnel? See if you want to go through the tunnel? Rosie, tunnel, go, tunnel, let's go. There you go. Tunnel. Oh, it's about as fast as she's ever gone through. Okay, guys. Yay. Okay. Good dogs. I liked that because there was a lot of engagement by the dogs. They got really involved. They were having fun with the people. And I think that's the big, we were having fun, obviously. You going back over? Ace, where did I leave your leash? Oh, there's this. I have a feeling you should go back on. Pop up. Oops. Hello. Come here, Rosie. Hello. Oh, Ace, come here. I am, yeah. Oh, okay. We're actually in the middle of the class here, if you want to come on in. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we're just finishing up, but yeah, we can chat. Well, I put my mic back on. Kristen's going to kill me. Come on, guys. Let's go back to our chairs here. Yep, come here. Calm down. Get some water. There we go. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I have for you. I mean, that's a lot of information, a lot of little things in a very brief amount of time. And for me, it was like, okay, how do I make it simpler? How do I not have as much stuff? But it kind of gives you, hopefully, a broad idea of some things. And you can try at home with your doggies. There's a ton of stuff on the internet about do-it-yourself enrichment. If you're on Facebook, you can join some groups, dog enrichment forums. And yeah, it can be stuff to do besides, they do that and they calm down. I mean, any kind of training, they learn how to learn, they're engaging with you, they become more confident, and they're happier. And they're just, they're not bored with the same toy, then left in, up to their own devices. So that's a big, yeah, now maybe you'll sleep. Probably not, though, not this guy. So any questions or comments or?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A question about how you teach a dog to paw the comb.
Oh, right. Well, Rosie, So really you need to have I use a shake first so that they're doing a handshake. Hi. And there's a variety of ways to teach a shake also. Ace, come here. Whoop. Okay, sit. Some of them will just offer it. Why'd you sit, buddy? I know you know how to sit. Can you paw? Shake? There we go. So he knows shake. I didn't know what his cue was. Good boy. So I have that shake down. Depending on the dog, again, let's go back to a cone. Come on, buddy. He's like, okay. Depending on the dog, you want to go back through the tunnel? You like that tunnel, don't you? Let's get this out. Touch. So I might even use my magic wand and have him touch that. Come here, Rosie. Touch. Good. So they use their nose. Yep. Paw. Shake. Good. Rosie. Okay, good girl. So what I'm doing, I'm just holding my hand close enough so that she or he, picks up that shake and actually ends up touching it, and then I'm saying yes and giving them the reward. So the behavior I want is them to, touch that. Ace. Shake. Good. So now he's not going for my hand with his paw. He's going for the cone because that's what I'm rewarding. Rosie. Paw. You know this one. Rosie. Thank you, Ace. Rosie, paw. Okay. This is why I brought Ace. Rosie's like, yeah, do I really have to? Paw. Touch. You really don't know. She said, I did it once. And then really you could start adding a lot of stuff to tricks like that. You could, start going further away and then pointing and saying paw, and then they'll go over and paw it across the room. She used to do that. Good boy. What are you going to do, hon? You're going to do something. So yeah, and so I guess one of the other things a lot of these behaviors you just break down, like that one where they go between the legs and back between the legs. Let's show let's show her bring something. Do you want to do that? Want me to do that? Because I want to just discuss. Okay. I'm going to show a retrieve by Vogie and talk about it's not as easy as it looks, and then I'll break that down, and then we'll wrap things up here. Oh, yeah.
Quick question. Oh, and I just forgot what it was.
Oh. Well, when you think of it, yeah. Oh, has she been retrieving this? Oh, yes, she did before. I was trying to remember which dog. I'll give you Ace. How's that?
Okay, I'll take Ace.
Oh, you know this, don't you? Okay. So she's done some service work. And say this is I'm going to say that maybe I'm disabled. I'm in this wheelchair here. Stay. And I need her to bring me, picture me in the chair still. Hey, sit. Stay. Boogie, bring! Boogie. She's having trouble picking it up. Bring! Is she getting rusty, Joanne?
I guess a little.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a little easier for you. Yep. Come here. Let's try this again. I know you know what to do. Can you sit? Stay. Boogie, bring! Boogie! Yes. She was trying to place it in my hand. So that was a good example of, she's getting a little rusty. She's had that down before. Good girl, you want that for a sec? But that's not just to go fetch, bring it. It was her staying, me telling her to bring it, her picking it up. She did chew on it, but technically if a service animal shouldn't chew on it, so she just should hold it. Bringing it to me, I'm in this chair, she should put it in my hand. So holding something in their mouth is, all that direction, and then placing. So there's a whole bunch of different string of behaviors there. And it's just like you see the service dogs go grab you a bottle of water out of the fridge. It's not as easy as it looks. So there's, and that's the same thing with the cone. There's these little baby steps, or that first exercise of, but we just sort of teach one thing at a time. And I taught, when I was working with her earlier, it was just to hold something, and then it was to bring something, and then, where to put it each time, and just these baby steps. So Yes. She's my show-off dog. Yes. Did you remember your question or no? Okay. It's good. I mean, it's hot and it's kind of that time of day and yeah. So, no, well, thanks everybody. Oh yeah. Well, it's the first time I've presented to an audience without doggies in it, so. And we'll say good thanks to our doggy friends here. Yeah, you guys did good.